History repeats itself, and the rich always find a way to get richer. While empires crumble, fortunes are built quietly in the shadows. In 17th century Amsterdam, a single merchant could control entire trade routes, leaving the poor behind. Money has always been a tool, but only those who understand it can multiply it exponentially. The masses toil, yet the returns rarely reach them. This pattern is older than any modern crisis. Fast forward to 1929. The stock market crash destroyed millions of lives, but the wealthy leveraged their assets to survive. This is the invisible force. Capital compounds silently, unseen by the struggling majority. Even today, the rules haven't changed. Investments, interest, and strategic borrowing favor those who already own wealth. Banks lend to the rich to make them richer, while the poor drown in debt they cannot escape. Look at the Renaissance. Medici family amassed power through clever loans and interest, shaping entire nations. The people labored in fields and workshops, but wealth flowed upward, enriching a few at the top. Financial literacy was never universal. Access was restricted to those born into privilege. Interest, investments, and ownership, these ancient tools still define modern wealth accumulation. Fast forward to the 1980 seconds. Financial instruments became more complex, but the outcome remained the same. The rich grew richer. The average worker's wages stagnated, while portfolios and assets multiplied in private hands. Debt becomes a weapon. Those who know how to leverage it rise. Those who don't, fall. Now consider modern billionaires. Technology magnifies capital, making wealth accumulation exponential. Stock options, real estate, startups, every tool multiplies for those already ahead. Meanwhile, the majority struggles with stagnant income and rising costs. The historical pattern persists. This is not luck. It is a system designed to favor those with capital, knowledge, and access. Look back to the Dutch tulip mania. Fortunes were made and lost in months, but those with insight survived and prospered. History always favors those who understand leverage the ability to make small amounts of capital work for you. Meanwhile, the majority watched prices soar and crash, left powerless to act. Fast forward to modern credit systems. The rich borrow at low interest, while the poor are trapped in high-interest debt. Compound interest, first described by the ancients, remains the silent engine of wealth accumulation. Those who control capital make money from money. Those who don't work endlessly for survival. The Industrial Revolution amplified these gaps. Factory owners grew rich while workers barely survived. Every era repeats the same story. The tools of wealth are the same, only the players change. Even now, the wealthy exploit tax loopholes and offshore havens, echoing the strategies of the past. Meanwhile, the middle class struggles to save, often trapped in rising housing and education costs. The system isn't broken by accident. It is designed to concentrate wealth in the hands of a few. History whispers a warning. Those who ignore these patterns repeat the mistakes of the past. From Venice's merchant princes to New York financiers, the strategy is identical. Invest, leverage, protect. The majority continue to trade time for money, unaware of the silent engines compounding above them. Education alone cannot close this gap. Access and strategy matter more than degrees. The wealthy have always had advisors, mentors, and networks. The poor often navigate alone. Even during crises, the rules favor those with capital. Opportunities arise, losses are mitigated. Look at the 2008 financial crisis. Ordinary families lost homes, while banks and investors were bailed out. Wealth begets more wealth, and history proves it is not mere coincidence. The pattern is clear. Capital compounds, networks protect, and the privileged escape risks the majority cannot. Throughout history, crises were not equalizers. They were accelerators for those who understood capital. During the Great Depression, families lost everything, while those with investments bought assets at pennies on the dollar. This is the invisible engine. Leverage and timing, combined with capital, create unstoppable growth. Fast forward to Silicon Valley. Startups, equity, and venture capital follow the same principles. A single successful investment can multiply wealth exponentially, leaving the majority behind. Meanwhile, the average worker exchanges hours for dollars, trapped in a cycle with no escape. Even when wealth is created by technology, it rarely trickles down, it compounds upward. Look at housing markets. Owners of capital leverage low interest loans, while renters remain vulnerable. The pattern repeats. Access, leverage, and knowledge compound wealth silently, invisibly. Even philanthropic efforts by the rich often preserve influence rather than redistribute true power. Meanwhile, small investors face fees, regulations, and hidden costs that slow growth drastically. The system is not neutral. It is structured to favor experience, networks, and initial capital. History repeats. The French nobility protected their wealth during revolutions, while peasants lost everything. The industrialists of the 19th century built empires on the labor of others, ensuring family fortunes for generations. Even today, multinational corporations exploit legal loopholes across borders, echoing centuries-old strategy. Meanwhile, average families struggle to save while inflation and taxes silently erode their income. It is not magic. It is compounding, leverage, and access simple principles repeated across centuries. Those who fail to recognize these forces often repeat historical mistakes, trapped in cycles of scarcity. Look at modern crises. Financial bailouts protect the elite, while ordinary people bear the burden. The invisible rules of wealth remain. Capital compounds, knowledge multiplies, and access preserves advantage. Even small advantages early in life compound over decades, creating wealth gaps few can bridge. Financial literacy is not enough without capital, networks, and timing to leverage opportunities. Look at modern startups. Early investors gain millions, while employees see modest salaries. Real estate magnifies this pattern. Owners leverage loans, while renters struggle with rising costs. Even when wages rise, inflation, taxes, and fees silently erode the gains of the majority. The wealthy exploit legal and financial systems to protect and multiply assets while the masses bear the risk. Interest rates, stock options, and derivatives are tools that favor those who already own capital. History repeats. From Venice to Wall Street, the invisible rules of wealth remain consistent. Those born into advantage inherit not only wealth but knowledge, networks, and risk protection. The masses labor tirelessly, but without access, their wealth remains minimal and vulnerable. Even technology, often hailed as a great equalizer, amplifies disparities for those with capital. Cryptocurrencies, stock markets, and startups all follow the same pattern as centuries before. Those who understand leverage and timing consistently outperform those who rely solely on labor. Debt can be a weapon or a trap. The difference lies in strategy and access. Even in global crises, those with capital find ways to profit while others lose everything. The pattern is clear and relentless. Wealth accumulates upward, creating cycles of inequality. History is a mirror. Those who ignore it are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. Understanding these forces is not optional. It is survival in a system designed to favor the few. The wealthy will continue to exploit capital, networks, and knowledge, as they always have. The question is, will the majority recognize the pattern before history repeats again? The story is relentless. Capital compounds, networks protect, and the privileged escape risks the majority cannot. Every crisis, every boom and bust, repeats the same pattern, unchanged by time or technology. Those who ignore history are trapped, exchanging their time and labor for survival while wealth accumulates elsewhere. But knowledge is power. Understanding, leverage, capital, and networks can change the outcome. History offers a warning. Without strategy, the same mistakes repeat, century after century. Those with insight act. Those without remain spectators, watching wealth concentrate above them. The lesson is simple, yet ignored. Capital grows faster than labor, networks protect wealth, and access matters more than effort. If you understand this pattern, you can prepare. If you ignore it, you are destined to repeat history. The choice is yours. Learn, act, and leverage knowledge, or remain trapped in cycles of scarcity. Subscribe now, like the video, and join those who choose to understand the rules of wealth before history repeats itself.